It was right. All right. Greetings, family. It's Brother Shaq.
Mama Fiyah.
True Love Movement Tuesdays is that time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're getting started a little bit behind. We're going to give you all a few minutes to come on in.
Oh, you got notes?
I got a little something, just, it's just that time. It's late,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's today?
Today is the 13th?
13.
11/13, yeah, that's what it is.
Hey, my sister.
Hey, what's going on, Mama? Yeah, we want to thank everybody for sharing the shows. We're seeing you sharing the shows, and we appreciate that. Lots of comments too, Mama Fiyah, particularly on the Facebook Live, as well as on the YouTube. Y'all check that YouTube channel. We're putting a lot of videos out there. Ha! Mama Charlita.
Ha!
But,
hey, Love Music Roses.
we know this is prime time, so there's other things you could be doing right here at the 9 o'clock hour.
Yeah, I wonder what come on TV at 9 o'clock. Anybody could tell me?
I don't know. Yeah, we don't even have a TV family, so we're honored that you've chosen to roll with us for this time. We got a really good show. I mean, we should kind of recap a little bit too, Mama Fiyah, before we get into it. Wait on a few more folks to come on in. Is the audio okay? Can everybody hear? Let me look at my headphones too, because I think last time that was the problem. My headphones were on.
Can y'all hear? Can everybody hear? Nothing on TV, huh? Yeah, I know there's some things sometimes, that people like to watch.
Regular show.
Greetings, my sister. Let's see, my sister Jesta is on.
Yeah. What's happening? You know what? Folks been looking at a lot of the old True Love Movement Hour shows too, Mama Fiyah.
Mm-hmm.
Been seeing that happen. The Black Sit show was a memory. I think it showed up as a memory for either today or yesterday.
Good, because we always talk about the Black Sit show. Well, that's a good show. Definitely.
That's your what's going on, Jerome? That was your you conceived that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I didn't. I conceived in doing a show.
You conceived in doing a show about
somebody had written a blog about it.
What's the history on the Black Sit? Well, we got some more folk coming in.
Well, somebody had written a funny blog about it, because there's a serious political issue that's happening. You keep pushing me.
I'm pulling you closer.
I know, but doggone situation with Britain and the UK. So Britain is leaving the UK, or I mean, it's. I need to understand it fully, but Britain is exiting, and so that's what they call it, Brexit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a kind of funny blog written by. I'm sorry, I gotta get my stuff together, but it was written by a blogger, a very famous black blogger, talking about Black Sit and what black people would take with them when they left.
Uh-huh.
If they completely left the idea of America and we just exited, right? All the things we take with us.
Right.
And so they're talking about we're going to take Michael Jackson and we taking Jordans and we taking all these things with them. But it was supposed to be funny. But the thing about it is it's not funny.
Right.
It's not funny. It's not funny at all. What would we take? And the first thing you need to take is your mind.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing we need to take is our mind. Understanding what the black nation, the power of a black nation exiting from this nation. What would it look like? Well, could we do that? Yes, we could. I was about to say something else, but yes. Of course, we need to have that idea. So that's what Black Sit is about.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you watch that show,
From 2 years ago.
That was from 2 years ago.
That
So
was
this,
2016.
yeah, the blog was written 2 years ago. So definitely watch that show.
And
I
there's
think
two
that's a
shows.
good show.
There's the Black Sit show, and then there's the Black Sit going through withdrawals.
Withdrawals.
Yeah, that's back to back in the month of November, maybe on the 16th and the 23rd. If you look on the True Love Movement Facebook page in the video section, it's in there.
Yeah.
So and it's going to show up for the memories. So thank you for that. Also, thank y'all for checking out a new video that's on the YouTube. The from Will Manifest number 6 back in 2015.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Fixing What's Wrong with New Orleans Schools. There's a workshop, and it's a True Love Movement workshop. And the name of the workshop is called Fixing What's Wrong with New Orleans Schools. And we're convinced we have the fix. And so we actually did a workshop for Manifest number 6. Very, very proud of that work. And we captured it on video, and it kind of sat in the vault all these years. And so many people were asking about, well, what's True Love Movement's position on the schools? Because there's a lot of stuff going on with the Orleans Parish School Board and schools that are closing and schools that are losing their charter and schools that are consolidating, and they got some scandals happening at schools, things with principals and boards and all that kind of stuff. And, True Love Movement doesn't usually talk about current events. As that stuff really isn't current. It's been happening, since I guess the beginning of it. But I remember that we had this work, and I'll tell y'all, family, y'all are looking at us here today, and we know many of you joined us for the True Love Movement Hour on Saturdays. We're celebrating our 5th year, WBOK, 12:30 a.m. Real Talk for Real Times on the True Love Movement Hour every Saturday at 5. But we talked about last Saturday was jealousy, right, Mama Fiyah? It was jealousy. We were looking at inferior motives.
Inferior motives. I really just love that. Yeah, inferior motives.
And that was your mind too. Inferior motives, which is a play on words of ulterior motives.
Right.
And so we were looking at that, and the first one we tackled was on jealousy. So if you missed that one, that's out there too. That's on the YouTube, the True Love Movement Hour YouTube channel as well. Mm-hmm.
And it was just an hour long.
Just an hour. It was a short show compared to what we're doing here now with you all.
Yeah.
At 9 o'clock. But I was saying that because most of the work that we do, I mean, we do the radio show and we do this broadcast, but most of the work that we do is not on social media. It doesn't happen on social media. It doesn't really get shared on social media. So this workshop that True Love Movement created called Fixing What's Wrong with New Orleans Schools came as the result of many years of working inside and organizing inside schools throughout the city of New Orleans within charter schools and doing professional developments and working directly with teachers and staff and students and parents and all those kinds of things throughout the city. So it was the result of a lot of research, and we did a workshop. Like I said, very, very proud of that work. And so what our position is on the New Orleans school scandals and school boards and all that kind of stuff, it's in that workshop, because everyone is saying that that's a problem, that New Orleans schools essentially have problems. And so True Love Movement, definitely we have the answer. We have the fix. I know that's a very bold and audacious statement, so if you'll take a look at that video on YouTube called Fixing What's Wrong with New Orleans Schools, you'll see exactly what we're talking about, and we do, in fact, have the fix. Though it's not our fix per se, it's a collective effort. We facilitate the conversation and show you the real genius of our people here in the community, real black people who are real parents, who are real educators, who have a love for black people. We know we can solve that problem, and we think that we have. So please take a look at that. And what else, Mama Fiyah?
Yeah, we gotta. It's 9 o'clock in the evening time. That's what's up.
That is what's up, and we thank y'all for joining us. Shout out to Sister Nzinga and other Sister Nzinga X. What's happening, Mama?
My 2 sisters in Nzinga.
Right on. We got Jerome joined us over there on the Instagram Live, along with Hook the Hustler. So we're going to get it started. Tonight we got a really important show. I know we've done Why Is It So Hard to Love the Black Woman? right, Mama Fiyah? We did Papa Was a Rolling Stone. If you hadn't seen those, you can check those out. That's on the YouTube channel, easy to find. Instagram family, y'all might be behind because we've been doing 2-hour shows and you all only get an hour of it. So if you haven't caught the whole thing, subscribe to the True Love Movement Hour YouTube channel. You can get the whole 2-hour shows, the True Love Movement Tuesdays that you've been missing. And so tonight, in the vein of looking at the black man and the black woman relationship dynamic, we're going to focus on the brothers tonight and why loving the black man is not enough. Again, tonight's topic is why loving the black man is simply not enough. So, what y'all say about that, family? Let your people know, because we've been talking all about the sisters and the black woman and all that, and you know the brothers always say, well, what about the black man, bro? You know, we ain't talking about the black man. Fuck, we always got to talk about the black woman. So now tonight we're talking about the black man, and not in a disparaging way at all, but we're really looking at why loving the black man is not enough. You know, and remember we tackled why it's so hard to love the black woman. So what this whole thing about the black man, why loving the black man is not enough. We'd have to think about, well, who's loving the black man? Hey, what's happening, Brandy? Thank you for joining us. We got, who is this here? Salsa Boosie? Is that Mama Fiyah? Okay.
Salsa Boosie.
Salsa Boosie, right on. What's happening? So yeah, we got Instagram Live and we got the Facebook live opening. Loving the black man is a privilege and a necessity. Right on, Sister Nzinga. So we got a black man advocate, at least one in the house. And you know what? I know we got a lot more than that. You know, black women have been loving us hard, you know, since forever. There's no black man out there that can deny that. We don't always think about it, but black women love us through all our failures and our insecurities. They love us through our lies and infidelity towards them. Black women love us through emotional, physical, psychological, and sexual abuse. You know, black women love us, you know, with no money. When we ain't got no money, they still love us. You know, and you know, Mama Fiyah, how else do black women love black men? You know,
we give over our body to give birth to black men. We give over our breasts to feed black men. We give over our hearts to nurture black men. I mean, you know, we love them. We love them tremendously, and sometimes more than we love ourselves.
Oh, that's real. That's real, family. So that's you know, and I'm gonna tell you, as a black man and collectively in listening to brothers, we don't love the black woman hard like that. We don't love like that. The moment a black woman does something we don't like, we disapprove of, as we talked about some weeks past on True Love Movement Tuesdays, the moment the black woman gets out of line or out of control or out of something that we think she should be in, we're done with her. We're not very forgiving for the black woman, even though after she has loved us through all of our shit, you know, and on a very consistent basis. And history shows that, you know, and I listen to brothers, you know, that's through the work every day. And it's incredible. Some of the shit that black women accept, like you said, you know, oftentimes and many times black women love black men more than they love themselves, even, you know, to a fault. And I'm talking about through like really difficult shit, like painful shit, like, you know, the lies and the cheating and the even some crazy shit like what's that, Mama Fiyah? How we know that there are times that, you know, the daughters have told their mothers about things about, you know, stepdaddies and other black men, and the mama don't want to believe it. You know, the mama sometimes just be in on it. I mean, we know many cases like that. It's real sick. So that love and that deep love and that unyielding love for the black man, regardless of what kind of heinous shit he do, we know that there's a lot of history there. We know that. So that's undeniable.
And a lot of the time, you know, women, no one believed the mother, and it's just a generational cycle that You know, that's just how we do things around here. You know,
Right.
we turn a blind eye to, you know, to what the black man does. And then let me say this: we do love to a fault, and we love because we want to say we have a black man. We want to say
Right.
we have a black man in our lives, that a black man didn't leave us, and that we're able to keep a man. You know what I mean? There's some deep stuff going on when we talk about that, when all of that is concerned. Very, very
Right.
sad. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, so we definitely have to acknowledge. So all this love, why is this love still not enough? You know, and it's part of the way we're socialized as black men. We expect, part of our expectations is that we expect the black woman to love us regardless of the shit we do. I mean, we really do expect that. You know, a lot of the times brothers will have issues and they tell me about what they got issue with, and it's not that it isn't a real thing, but it's still, you know, comparative to maybe what some of the shit is that they've dished out. You know what I'm saying? It's not that the black woman always just come out of left field. And, you know, as I was talking to a brother today that's going through a difficult time, you know, I told him that one thing that I know for sure is that there isn't a black woman walking around that hasn't been hurt, and likely been hurt by a black man, whether we're talking about her father, brother, a cousin, a brother on the street. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a memory, a very real lived memory of black women being hurt by black men who they love so hard and so much and through so much. So that, you know, oftentimes puts some strain on the relationship, but black women, you know, they press on
Yeah.
repeatedly, you know?
And a lot of the time, is the first black man to hurt a black woman is her father.
Right, yeah.
And you know, whether it be abandonment, whether it be not showing up, whether it be some type of abuse, and then it's what we expect. You know, it becomes what we expect from black men. It's saying, you know, I understand. And the thing about it is, when you grow a human being inside of your body, you understand it. You know, and so part of it is maybe being too understandable. You know, I mean, too understanding.
Right.
Like, I understand what it means to be a human being, you know.
Right.
I understand what it means to make mistakes, you know, and that love isn't reflected back, you know, like
Right.
we're growing together, we're making mistakes together, and it can be hurtful. But yeah, it starts off with the father. That's why the father is so very important.
Right, in which many times he's not well.
Right.
You know, we talked today with some other brothers about that. I was telling them how, you know, they weren't feeling very significant in life, and I said, well, hey man, you were the fastest sperm. You were the strongest one, bro. Like out of 1,000,000, you were the one that made it to the egg. So you're very significant. I mean, you're definitely here for a reason, you know. And he said, well, what about when your mom and your daddy don't stay together? And I said, that's not part of the criteria for creating a child. The conditions just have to be met to fertilize that egg. That has nothing to do with necessarily love or relationships or companionship or anything. Children are born under all kinds of circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Shout out, we got sister K. Sharif joining us.
Yeah,
Who else
Sister
we got?
Rain.
Charlita.
Hey, Queen Rain. Rain be on.
She on it now,
The True
huh?
Love Movement Tuesdays.
There was
Appreciate
somebody
that,
else
Queen.
I saw in there. Sister Donna
Shantice,
Marie,
hey,
Shantice, what's
Queen.
happening?
So I think even when, you know, that is so significant that somebody will talk to you about that, because for one, it's important to say it. A lot of the time we're walking around and we don't have the words for what we're feeling.
Language.
You know, we don't have the words for what we want to say. When we say things, it actually helps move it around in our bodies. Because when we don't say things, it's like we're stuck and we're stuffed in, you know. But when we start to talk and we start to say things, it alleviates some of the pressure. It really,
Right.
really does. But the fact that that young man
Yes.
said that to you, it shows that something is missing.
Right.
Something's missing in our sons' hearts. Something's missing in their minds. And yes, the best type of relationship is a nuclear family.
Right.
You know, where mom and dad are together and they're on a team, a leadership team to take
Right.
care of the children. you know, and I have never seen that happen.
Right.
I have never seen, well, that's not necessarily true. I do know one nuclear family that are still together. The children are adults and they have grandchildren. I have seen that work. And without it happened with its ups and downs. It happens with its mistakes
Right.
and its growth. But I've always seen this couple really very respectful and loving toward each other in front of everybody,
Right.
in front of me, in front of their children, in front of other families. And so I have to believe that can happen
Definitely.
in a nuclear family. Have y'all ever witnessed a nuclear family? It's so beautiful to see.
Right.
And I don't mean an extra baby from before or when we was younger, we all have extra babies. I mean nuclear. They got together. And not saying anything is wrong with blending a family.
Right.
It's just difficult to blend a family right. And Shanti said, I have not seen a healthy form of that happen.
So look at that.
Listen, it's like a scarcity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to really figure out why. And I think that's what we're going to do today. Just pull away some of those weeds and pull away some of those pains and kind of really, really look at it.
Right. And listen, we are presuming that the black woman's love should be enough to hold the family together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The black woman's love should be enough to make that brother want to stay and stick around and and be a part of the children's lives and those kinds of things. As the sister says, she has not seen a healthy form of that happen. So that means for many folk that's not even a realistic expectation or an aspiration. So people aren't even going towards that, Mama Fiyah.
Right.
In a great many of the cases. And one of the reasons why, and there's a lot of tension there, is that we are still socialized to presume that this black woman who loves us so much, whether we talking about mama, girlfriend, wife, baby mama, sister, boo, whatever it is, we still are socialized to presume this adversarial relationship with her, that we are opposites, we're opposite sexes. So that means whatever shit she say, we gonna do opposite of it, that she's not really interested in our best interest. So that we have to kind of defend ourselves and defend our position against, literally against the black woman. And whether we talking about our mamas or our intimate partners, this idea that there's this, we different. So because we're different, that means we're opposing. And, that brings a lot of angst and tension between the black man and the black woman. But the black woman will love through that, The black woman will love all the way through that tension like it ain't nothing. That's part of it. Mm-hmm. And we also are socialized to want to, force the sister into submission. We think really the issue with black women, the number one issue black men have with women that they share with me is that she don't know her place. She won't act right. She won't do what I'm telling her to do. She don't understand that I'm in charge. She don't understand I'm the man. She don't understand that I'm the leader. I'm the king of the castle. She don't understand that's what the fuck go, but I say go. And she's trying to check me and challenge me and ask me a lot of questions and talk to me about shit I don't want to talk about. And that's a problem, and she's a problem. That a lot of that's happening, as though that is a normal thought about how black women are. And so that's how black men are often responding to black women with that, oh shit, here she come. I don't want to hear her mouth. She always fussing about something. She nagging. She won't just leave a nigga alone. Why you can't just make a nigga a sandwich? You know what I'm saying? Why we got to be talking about all this? Why you got to do all this kind of thing? And so oftentimes the black woman is, as hard as she's loving, is not heard. Fiyah.
Yeah, definitely not heard. And like you said about the adversarial roles, Brother Shag, if we are, children and we learn that these are the roles that we share, mm-hmm. We go into the world, with that in your mind and heart about what it is, what love is. And I think, so many people really don't even really believe in love.
Yeah, well, you definitely encounter that.
I'm talking about black men and black women just don't believe in love.
Right.
They're looking for something else You know, they're looking for a transaction, like we talk about all the time, and bringing back real love. And we can bring it back, and you can believe in it when you give it to yourself.
Right.
You know, when you say, I don't know if I believe in love between a man and a woman. I don't know if I believe in love between friends or love between even family members, but I believe in the love I have for myself.
Right.
And it starts from there for real.
Right.
But it's sad to hear young people talk about love and bust out laughing.
Right,
like,
right.
what? Like,
Yeah.
You know, what kind of wife or what kind of woman you want? Oh man, she gonna cook, she gonna do this, she gonna do that. It's nothing about the human connection.
Right.
You know, and it's a really sad thing to think about. Yes.
It's a transaction.
Like, I want a woman that's gonna do this for me. You know, and if you talk to the young ladies, they want a man with a job. They want a man that's gonna provide. They want a man, but not even talking about like being friends or human connections to make. You know, it sounds old and it sounds archaic to young people.
And another thing too, I definitely want to mention when we're talking about how deep the black women love and how hard they love, in spite of the fact that I know, because sisters have you know, confided and expressed that many sisters, many black women do not feel safe around black men. Many black women have expressed that they do not feel safe around black men.
I mean, that's real, Brother Shaq.
know.
I have felt, you know, definitely not with my heart, not safe with my heart, but even just walking on the street.
Right, safe with your body.
Safe with my body. Even walking on the street, I'm looking. I'm all the time on defense. Like, you know, I hold my head down when I'm walking a whole bunch of men. I'm holding my head down. Yeah, that's real. We've learned these things. We've learned how to do these things to keep ourselves safe.
Right.
You know, and truly, the times that I've been hurt by a black man has been somebody that's been very close to me, somebody either in my family or somebody very close to my family, the times that I have been hurt.
Right.
And it's like scary to think that somebody in my family could do me something.
Right.
You know, the times, you know, the thing I've experienced now is somebody talking to you, trying to holler, and you say, oh no, I'm married, brother, I'm married. And they call you a name. They call you a bitch. Or they say, oh, bitch. You know, I'm just like, what's happening now?
Right.
So that really makes you feel unsafe, you know, traveling by yourself, unsafe. You know, I keep my head down. I keep my business to myself. I keep my purse and my keys together. And I'm, you know, and is it just me, my sisters? What is this thing?
Right. Yeah, it's definitely not just you, Mama Fiyah. And I think a lot of it is for the reasons that you're stating, that there's been an experience or a multitude of experiences where they have, you know, women sisters have been victimized at the hands of black men, you know, and all kind where they didn't see it coming, you know what I'm saying? And so I guess the thought is, if your own family member will do something to you, you know, the brother on the street don't give a fuck. He could, you know what I mean, that you know that there's no connection or allegiance there. So that makes it very easy for, you know, a black man to this presumptive adversarial relationship, these opposites, that the black woman is the enemy. You know, it makes it very very easy to hurt a black woman. Sister Nzinga said, yes, it's crazy. They say they feel played. So, you know, if a brother feels played and he hollers at a sister, that's saying that the thought process is that if I make an advance, you're supposed to oblige.
That's
that you
right.
don't have no choice, or you don't have no say in it, that this is the way it go. And that kind of thinking is you know, is part of the way that black men are socialized. And that's just mimicking what happens in the dominant culture with the white man. Like, you know, the white man, people don't tell the white man no. They say yes to the white man because they know that the white man is holding resources and all kinds of other things and has the potential to reward. So they want to keep him happy. And so when he asks for something, or he demands something, or he sees something he wants to take, people acquiesce. And so the black man has been looking at that shit for 400 years, and he said, well, I ought to have that too. Ain't I a man? You know, this is how I go for men. This is what men are supposed to have. And that's so dehumanizing. It's you know, it goes in line with that idea of I must conquer this black woman. This black woman should be submitting to me. that you know, and it gets biblical, right? They say submit to your husband, and there are all these different kinds of things that back up that idea that the woman is supposed to go along with whatever the brothers say. And then we got a long history, Mama Fiyah, about the black woman loving so hard, loving through all the bullshit that, you know, why she tripping, right? As the sister Nzinga say they feel played.
It's terrible.
And we talking about, you know, at best, I've had many brothers, and I have in my lifetime been guilty of it too, you know, said that, you know, that woman over there, that's somebody's wife, or that's somebody's mom, or somebody's daughter, or somebody's sister. That's, you know, somebody's cousin, somebody's girlfriend. And I thought I was saying something noble, but fuck, that's just somebody. That's a human being. You know, even in doing that, we're saying that you know, the sister has value, but the value she has is only because of however she's related to a brother. You know what I'm saying? Because many times the sisters are, the brothers are like, well, you know, they'll do all kind of shit to somebody else, but hey, you can't talk about my mom, or you can't talk about my wife, or you whatever. But if there's a woman over there who's by herself, oh, but she don't get no say, and she don't get no protection, or she don't get no thought, but she ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know, have you encountered that, Mama Fiyah? The sisters are, am I saying something that y'all don't know about? Because this is what
definitely.
I hear brothers.
I mean, I saw that meme.
Take, you know?
I saw that meme, and that was a paradigm shift for everybody. I think, you know, to say just because she showed up, she's a woman, she's a human being.
Right.
So that's why we should respect her. Not because she's somebody's daughter.
Right.
You know, and on top of that, because she's somebody's daughter.
Right.
You know,
right.
And then with saying she's somebody's daughter, meaning you respect her daddy.
Right.
You respect her daddy. You don't even respect her.
Yeah, don't do nothing because you don't want no consequences from her daddy
She's
or her brothers
daughter,
or
you know,
some of that kind of shit. Right.
Yeah, and what I've seen is what goes around comes around, what you mentioned, and karma. You know, karma is, you know, you reap what you sow.
Definitely.
And it's like these brothers are having a hard time, you know, raising their daughters as well. Because it's difficult. It's difficult if you haven't been there and you haven't made the connection. Listen, if you can't make a connection with a black woman, you cannot make a connection with your daughter.
Right.
If you have not made a connection with your mother, if you have not made a connection with your sister, if you have not made a connection with your children's mother, we think that because our daughter showed up, that we're going to know how to love the black woman. We're going to know what to do. You know, and it helps, of course, to say, well, you know, I've turned a new leaf. I've got a daughter now, you know.
Right. Now
but
I want to treat these women right.
Yeah, but that still don't make you treat your daughter like a human being either.
Right. Yeah, but daughter ends up being a possession. You know what I'm saying? Part of how we think about it. Yeah. What's our sister Shanti saying, Mama?
My sister Shanti said, I struggled with how I looked at love for a while, as I did grow up in a household that did make me feel scared from trauma to show any emotion, and I saw my mother the same way. Often when she was stressed, it could be taken out on me as well. So I romanticized love, yes indeed, while watching Disney movies or listening to music that had that ingrained as that was my escape. Definitely, yes. Speak on that, sister. I'm saying romantics, this fairy tale kind of love is a lie.
Right.
It is a lie. There is no one coming to kiss you and wake you up and make you all better and like sweep you off your feet and take care of you. Listen, I don't even think that needs to be true.
Right.
That should not even really be implanted in our minds, that no one is coming to save us. That is what we need to know. No one is coming to sweep us off our feet and take all the pain away.
Right.
You know, black love and love is work. It is so hard, right? And we gotta be right, and even to get into the work. Brother Shaq and I, we have stories to tell about how we got here. We've only been together as a couple for 7 years.
Right.
You know, people think, oh, black love goes like all of our children are for each other, and it's not true. None of our children are for each other.
Right.
You know, and so we had to go through painstakingly all of these relationships to figure out something about ourselves,
Right.
which in turn helped us attract to each other and create this beautiful thing.
That's right.
Right? And there's nothing romantic about it. There's nothing like, oh, he is my knight in shining armor, and he came and he saved me.
Right.
We put our resources together.
That's right.
We put our strengths together. Where he's strong, I need help. Where I need help, he's strong. And that's as beautiful as we can get it. There's nothing, there's no violin constantly playing.
No violin.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think when we wake up to love, and the only way we can do that is when we do it for ourselves.
Right on.
And that's something they do not show us. You know, I mean, they may show movies where a woman or a man goes and soul searching. They go soul searching and they put a backpack on and they go to Tibet and they go to Thailand and they go to these places, or they join the Peace Corps or some stuff, and they find themselves. And that's not what we're talking about either, because you can do it right here, right now.
Right.
You don't need any of that extra stuff to take a real hard look at yourself and understand about who you are and who you have been.
Right.
Who you have been, who you are, and who you were always meant to be.
That's right.
Right? Only you know that stuff. You are an expert only on yourself.
You're an expert on you.
You know? And so we have to debunk that too. Like we kind of dream about our man, you know, who he's going to be. And we write a list out and we say, he's going to be this and he's going to be that and he's going to that. And sometimes we can say, well, you know, I just never found the right man.
Right.
Because he does not exist when you put all those things together. Listen, my sisters, if we want a relationship, period, we need to be able to deal with who we are, right? And really become who we're trying to attract.
Right.
And that's hard. That's hard because we don't want to do the work. Right? We don't want to say, you know, I want a man with a lot of integrity. And another thing, we looking on the outside, we say he need to be this tall, and he need to be this skin color, and he needs to have this, he need to make at least this amount of money a year.
Sure.
Right? And then on the other hand, we're not looking at character. We're not looking at integrity. Integrity needs to be number one if we want a long-term healthy relationship.
Right.
Integrity. Because a lot of the time we get heartbroken, my sisters, because brothers ain't willing to tell the truth. Brothers ain't willing to walk it how they talk it. They willing to run game, right? And we get heartbroken like that. We believe that every single man is like that.
Right.
I was that way. I was that way when I'm like, man, you know, how do we say every man cheats? Right. We got this whole thing that every man cheats, and have you walking around heartbroken like you'll never have a man that just wants to be with you.
Right.
You know, that doesn't really even exist. And so that has you tied up and thrown off in your head with stuff. And I'm not saying that our relationships even need to be like that. Right. We need to be honest.
Right.
If we are honest, then there's no cheating.
That's right.
Right? And I don't mean honest and saying, I ain't cheating, girl, and really do be cheating.
Right.
I mean saying that it is hard, you know, being honest enough to say it is hard for me to be with one woman.
Right.
And in that case, brother, if it's hard for you to be with one woman, then you need to let every woman know that you cannot be with one woman. And if she decides to show up, if she decides to be in that relationship, then hey, we've got character and integrity right there.
That's right. Same thing for the woman. You know, but as you were talking about that, Mama Fiyah, I was thinking about that whole deal about saving. You know, like the fantasy of some man is coming and save. You know, and
Captain Save-A-Hole.
But they got a lot of religious background in that whole idea of saving. You know, about the man coming in and saving the woman, the damsel in distress and remember we talked about that last week that that old white boy was quoted with talking about how black people are the lady of the races. The black people are the lady of the races, and so there's a pathology around this idea about saving and being saved and that whole process kind of thing. And you all know what I'm talking about in terms of looking at that. I'm not telling you something that you don't know. I'm just reminding you and causing you to remember something that you've heard before, and where that whole concept is rooted in, and why we're desirous, of fulfilling those roles, both as the man, as the savior, because many brothers want to come in and say, I'm going to save you. Look at what I'm doing for you, and look at what I got, and look at how I'm going to sweep you up, and I'm going to put you in this place, and blah, blah, and that, because that's a control mechanism.
It's a control mechanism, but it's also romantic.
Right.
And it's also what he's gotten from Disney movies.
Correct.
As well.
Correct.
So, yes, but it is a level of control.
And we've learned that, again, we've learned how we relate to one another from our experience. This is just a holdover from the legacy of slavery. How black men or African men and women relate to one another in healthy ways without being oppressed and without being under tyranny. In America, we don't have any experience with that. We don't even have any memory of that here in America. So many of the relationships that people are in or they find themselves in are approached from a place of lack. In other words, we're looking for, like you said, the sister has this, I want a man who's going to be like this, because we're looking for a come up. We're looking to offset some of these deficits. We know we got some deficits, and so we're looking to offset them by what we can get. And the brothers are looking at what they can get as well. And so that's why many
instead
of the
relationships... Instead of what we can give and what we can receive. I'm not talking about giving. Right. I'm talking about giving and receiving.
That's right. Well, much of the relationships are so transactional because it's just decided that, okay, I want this and you want that. So you can have this if you buy me that kind of thing. And it's just transactional. And so we reduce it to something very simple. And we essentially say that that's what relationships are. And this is what couples are. And it's all about what I can get and what you can get. And then we come up with something that we can agree to. And, another thing too, Mama Fiyah, and we're definitely getting around to how, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about why loving the black man is not enough, even after we've gone through all the ways, and not all an exhaustive list, but just many of the ways. If we miss something and you'd like to add, family, please do in the comment section, that black women love black men and how hard black women love black men since forever. There's so much history and so much reality on how, we've been loved and taken care of by black women, even though we have fucked over black women also just as hard. And there's a legacy and history about that, because the black man has been socialized and internalized this idea that he is not lovable. Like, you ain't gonna find brothers walking around talking about, I'm lovable. Like, that ain't even language that brothers use. And part of the reason there's a disconnect from that language is because the black man, typically, unless he's done the work, doesn't love himself.
Right.
The black man doesn't love himself. And so even though the black woman is trying to have enough love for everybody and enough love to hold the family together, and even after all the shit, the black man still fucks over, the black man still lies, he still cheats, he still betrays the trust, violates in all kinds of ways. And that's because the black man has internalized the idea that he's sinister, that he's not lovable. You know what I'm saying? All of the messaging that black boys and black men get is that they are sinister, predators, killers, even destroyers, not
savages,
savages, like, to the point that we call ourselves that shit with pride, because aside from having people afraid of us and our sexual prowess, ain't shit to a nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's how the thought process is. So I am what I can do with my hands, and I am what I can do with my penis. And so the woman know that's what it is, and I know she wants some money. So we got to figure out how I can buy her or rent from her what I want. And that's the extent of our relating. And then children pop up, and we say nobly, well, I'm going to take care of my child. Fuck it, I'm going to do that. And then the woman said, nah, nigga, you ain't. I'm going to put you on child support. Now, then we got some more shit going on.
Oh, we got serious problems.
And then the adversarial shit happening because of that presumption. Yeah. But part of it that really opens the door for that is the idea from the black man's perspective. And I'm talking very general statements, but unless you've done the work, most brothers haven't even confronted this kind of stuff about themselves. I know because I listen to brothers all day, and we talking about brothers who are in their, not just in their 20s and 30s, but in their 40s and 50s and beyond. So much of the reason why this is uninterrogated within many a brother is because few things bring us to where we have to confront it. Patriarch is in such a way that if we don't want to have a conversation with a woman about this shit, we just say, I don't want to talk about that shit. And I ain't about to talk about that shit, you know?
That's right. And let me say this. We do not talk about it, period. Like, we don't talk about, I mean, yeah, love is on Disney movies, and yeah, love is in R&B songs and these kind of things. And I'm seeing that dwindle away as well.
Right.
But I'm saying we do, whenever you hear about a self-love group or a self-love support, whatever, it's always for women. It's always for women.
Right.
We are not talking about what self-love means for men. How is it just for women to love themselves, right?
Right.
This is a serious movement. And so when we are talking to our daughters in the womb about loving themselves, we have to talk to our sons as well. In the womb, we have to grow them up understanding that they should love themselves. That I, as your mother, am here until I am here to love you until you're able to love yourself. Mm-hmm. Right? And that needs to start happening. Like, show me how you love yourself. What did you do today that you did? Show yourself you love yourself so that you can know that love is real.
That's right.
That love is not a Disney movie. Love is not an R&B song. Love is real. It's really real. And the truth of the matter is, with many of our children and many adults now did not even receive love from their parents.
Right.
It's heartbreaking. Because I think somebody put on Facebook something about, like, some of us grew up instead of in loving homes, in homes of survival.
Right.
Some of us, all of us.
Right.
All of us had to grow up in survival, and our children are growing up in survival now.
That's right.
It is survival of the fittest right now because we are at war.
That's right.
Now, it doesn't mean that we can't have love too, right? But survival is since the plantation.
Self-preservation, right?
Survival since the plantation, Brother Shay.
That's right.
Because they are still lynching our brothers. They're still lynching our sisters. It's still going on. It may look different, and it might be modern day lynching, but it's still happening. So we are still having to have survival right here, constantly in front of our faces.
That's right.
But it doesn't mean that love can't be there, and it doesn't mean that we can't plant a seed of self-love, plant a seed of, listen, who can love you the best? When I talk to brothers, and I'm thankful for you, Brother Sheikh, because you're always bringing it up to the brothers about loving themselves. We are sometimes the first people that young people or anybody ever hear that men can love themselves.
That's right. That's right.
We are. I mean, we on this movement. This is a movement for real. But please, everybody who is listening on Instagram and on Facebook, please bring up the idea of self-love to black men.
That's right.
You can do that. You can ask a black man, do you love yourself? How do you know? Why?
Right.
Please talk. Let's talk about self-love.
This sister Natasha Wilson said it's a lack of growing without a father, no male role model. Mm-hmm. Now I want to challenge the sister to go deeper. I'd like to go deeper. I'd like us all to go a little bit deeper, because she said, it's a lack of growing without a father, a male role model. If your father doesn't know about loving himself,
that's right.
It don't matter if he's in the home or not. He can't teach what he doesn't know. If it's never been a part of the reality of socialization for black men, the physical presence doesn't matter, because what brothers do is mimic what they were taught. Yeah. So black men are not thinking of themselves as lovable. Black men, we are moving from the legacy of the plantation, that what you do, again, you're good with your hands, you're good with your penis, you be strong, you know what I'm saying? You make as much money as you can, you protect and provide for your family, but that ain't got shit to do with loving. It's just it's the idea of a black man's role and function in this particular society. And so he's not asked himself what's happening in his heart. That's not part of the conversation that the black man has with himself.
That's right,
and it's certainly not part of the conversation that other people are valuing and assessing the black man for his heart. We ain't checking that. The only time a black man talking about his heart or somebody is referring to the black man of his heart is the courage. That I ain't scared. I got courage. Like I ain't gonna run from shit. I got heart. But in terms of love, like the action of love and being very clear and deliberate about that, like the sisters say, I love you because I provide for you. That is a very, very narrow aspect of love. That is one thing that you do, but that isn't the whole game. And so many times as black men, and patriarchy allows us this room to stay upstairs. I call this upstairs and your heart is downstairs. To stay upstairs, we fulfill particular roles and say, nah, I done did what the fuck I'm supposed to do. Leave me alone. My grandfather and brothers who came from that generation, they did just like what happened on that movie Fences, because that was that time. They went out, they worked real hard with their hands, they did all kind of physical labor under demeaning, circumstances, and they would bring the money home on Friday. They would put the money on the kitchen table, they would give their wives the money to take care of the children and whatever she got to do around take care of the house. They would take a little bit of that money back, or the sister would give them some money because she already got his clothes ready because he's getting ready to leave. After he eats his supper that she cooked for him, he's going get himself together, put on some fresh clothes, and he is leaving Friday evening, and he's coming back on Sunday night. And nobody better not ask him shit about where he was and what he was doing and who he was doing it with, because as a man, as a black man, he earned that privilege because he took care of his business. He took care of his family. So that shit didn't have nothing to do with the active loving of other human beings, because you would have to listen to and respond to people in order to love them the way in accordance with the way they want to be loved. And since the black man hasn't been socialized to look at himself that way and do that for himself, he's in absolutely no position to really do that kind of work. We call that heart work. To do heart work as it relates to his intimate partner and his children. So he stays upstairs in a role. Black men learn the role. Black boys learn a role. Like we talked about that last week, that before black boys even know who they are, they're thinking about what they're supposed to do. And people discourage them from discovering anything about themselves that won't make money, because the value of the black man has been relegated to that. And if you can't make money, you can't earn, you ain't shit nigga, and don't nobody want to hear what you got to say.
Bitch ass nigga.
You a bitch ass nigga.
And listen,
you know what I'm saying? You got to look at that terminology.
That is the worst thing to call a black man. That's the worst thing to call anybody.
Right.
But I mean, that, and so can we balance what we're saying, Brother Shaq? Because I hear you saying like black men, up here, and they have to be, and I hear that, and I've seen that.
Right.
But what about black men who have their heart broken, who are hurt, and have led with their heart, have decided that they're going to love?
Right.
Because black men are capable of loving.
Very.
Black men, I think about my daddy. It took him a while. But once he understood, he was the most loving man ever. And so what about these men that go gung-ho for their first relationship, right? And they get their heart broken and they say they'll never love again. They'll be cold and hard.
Right.
And it's true, how many brothers have we seen like that?
Right.
And when you talk to them and say, well, what happened? Did something happen? They talk about something when they was 13 years old.
Right. That's right.
13 or 14 years old, when you really loved her and she was talking to another boy on a phone or something like that. And it's like hurt,
Right.
And sometimes it's a family member that have hurt us.
Right.
Sometimes it's your mama.
Right.
You talked about how you see these mamas boxing these boys down and emasculating them and telling them they ain't shit, and they hearing bitch ass nigga from their own mamas. Right. And so they're heartbroken as well and hurting. And so the sister Natasha Wilson had said lack of role models. And listen, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago about modeling modeling self-love. What does it look like? This role model bullshit and like mentorship and all of that, that's old school and it doesn't work.
That's right.
It doesn't work. We need those who know and understand self-love for ourselves have to model it for people.
Right.
We have to say, I'm loving myself right now. I'm drinking me some coconut water, making sure that I'm hydrated today because I've been busy, I've been running or whatever. I'm drinking, I'm loving myself by doing that. I'm loving my body. Right, and I'm modeling it for my children. I'm not drinking a glass of wine. Not saying anything is bad about drinking a glass of wine, but I'm teaching my children that this is the type of thing you drink at night when you're trying to do some good work here on True Love Movement Tuesdays.
Right.
I'm saying we model it and we actually say the words of self-love. We actually ask, and then cheer people on when we say, oh, you're loving yourself. Huh?
Right.
I see you loving yourself. Or we say, what did you do to love yourself today, Brother Shaq?
That's right.
Or he asked me, well, Mama Fiyah, you need some time to love yourself, Queen.
Right.
Like
Self-care
really
time.
modeling it for one another is the way to go, is encouraging and modeling it through our own actions.
The sister Donnie Monche, and forgive me if I get it wrong, Holton, has a good question. She says, people tend to call men soft when they're openly affectionate or outspoken, or outspoken about their feelings and standards, and that's messed up.
Yes, it is messed up.
So that's part of the socialization, and what really makes this anger and this hurt that Mama Fiyah that you're describing is, and we've said this on True Love Movement Hour for many, many years, and I said it specifically because I've learned it as a black man, that black men are the most sensitive beings on the planet. There is no one more sensitive than a black man. A black man cares about everything. He cares not just about what you said about him or said to him, but how you think about him, how you feel about him, how you looked at him. I mean, you got to really understand the psyche of black men. The thing is, society tells you that you're an animal, that you don't have feelings, that you're a soldier, that you're cold and callous, and you're supposed to be, this way. But then you have these feelings. That's why men, tend to stay upstairs, because it's safe up here. See, if I can rationalize this shit and reason it out and make it logical, then it's good. But when I start feeling because it's even when you say I love you, it's like that's some kind of a weakness. Like people, as the sister said, they talk about you and call you soft. That permeates the presumptive adversarial relationship with the feminine energy inside of every single man. You know what I'm saying? Brother don't want to talk about feminine energy. I ain't got no feminine energy. No, of course you do. You were made by a man and a woman, so that means you got the masculine and the feminine inside of you. You have dominant masculine, but you have feminine as well, because you were made by a woman and you began as a female.
And that's the thing. The dominant masculine is the thing that throws everything off, throws the whole balance off. We need to have balance of both.
Right, no doubt, no doubt.
The dominant masculine said that I'm the man and I'm in charge, and
it's a thing of extreme.
Yeah,
it's a thing of extremes, and when we have the terminology that I use, dominant in there, dominating, that says that everything that isn't me has to submit to me, and that my chief function is to obtain submission, whether I get it through force or any other kind of way. And that's what being a man is, and that's what manliness is, and that's what manhood is about. And where do we learn that shit? We learn that from our white daddy on the plantation, because that's what we watch this white man do, is make everybody submit. Nobody checks him. Everybody's afraid of him. And black men have always wanted that. But black men are sensitive. We are the most sensitive, and we are taught not to be that way. And so where do these uncried tears go? They come out in all kind of other heinous shit that we do. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't let nobody know that this shit really hurts. 2 words said a black man never in America is, I'm overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? Black man ain't never said, I'm overwhelmed. Black man can't say, I'm overwhelmed.
And black man doesn't even talk about his own real true feelings, except that he's angry or mad. That's
the only 2 feelings that we have. We're angry, we're mad, or whatever. That's it. But so love, and the idea that the black man is soft, as the sister was saying, was what points out to him
a huge missed opportunity.
Raising up his feminine energy and expressing love. I mean, expressing love as a loving human being, and being celebrated for that. So a lot of this, undesirable behavior in men is encouraged and reinforced through socialization, and it's through men and women upholding those ideals. And it kind of gets us where we're at, where the woman is doing all the loving. That's why we're saying tonight why loving the black man is not enough, is as much and as hard as black women love the black man. And oh, by the way, Instagram, we're getting ready to go out, so you can switch over to the Facebook Live. If you go to the link in the bio, that'll get you right to Facebook, even if you're not on Facebook, and you can join us on the live. Thank y'all for tuning in on Instagram. Catch us on the Facebook Live. We're going to finish this thing off. All right, so salute Instagram family. So, okay, Facebook Live, we still here. One of the things that I wanted to talk about, Mama Fiyah, is in our challenge as black men with looking at ourselves as lovable, part of the prevention is that's why we're not able to love the black woman in the way she needs to be loved, because we haven't done that kind of work for ourselves. We don't consider ourselves to be lovable. We don't think that even goes with being a black man. I mean, brother ain't walking around talking about I'm lovable, dog. You know what I'm saying? That ain't what black men are saying. You know, and so it doesn't even seem like there's any value in it or something we're aspiring to do. So we want to put all the loving work. That's the woman's department. That's the black woman's job. She need to do all that loving shit. I just go to work. I make the money. I do that, and everybody leave me the fuck alone. I'm doing what a man's supposed to do. But then there's something missing. You know, the black man is looking for love and wanting love and desiring love so bad. He's looking for love everywhere, but in the mirror.
Yes, definitely. He's looking for love. He's looking for like almost like a mythical, some type of mythical thing, and satisfying it with sexual.
Right.
Sexual desires and sexual urges. And, it's just very sad that, black men especially, are walking around half full, if that much.
It's a low existence.
Yeah,
Very
half,
low existence.
half full, and understanding that he indeed is lovable.
Right. And I ask black men that, Mama Fiyah. Like, I ask brothers, like, where they at on the scale of loving themselves. I was talking to a brother today, do you think you're lovable? Because usually what happens for black men is that the deficit in us loving ourselves shows up in a relationship that we're having. And the woman is dissatisfied and she's got all kinds of issues and things with the relationship. And what we find when we start listening is the black man she's wanting this black man to love her and match her love, because she's loving this black man so hard. And regardless of whatever problems this black man got, whether it's money, whether it's physical, whatever the problem is, the black woman's still in there. She loving this black man hard. And so in turn, he's not able to reciprocate that love. He's like, what you want from me? The black man picks intellectually what he wants to do, and he does that intellectually and says, why do you get off my back? Or get out, why you acting like I'm not good to you? I do this, and this.
I'm here.
You know what I'm saying? I'm here. And so there's this other layer, this other level of self-discovery for black men, that the potential for it is always there. And the love that we're looking for is right here with us. But these aren't the kinds of conversations that, black men are socialized to have. We don't even deal with it. And most of the time it's because we don't think that we have the power to confront something like that. Yet we have the emotion. See, that's the whole thing. Even though the brother don't talk about it or don't want to talk about it or don't want to think about it, he still desires to have love, and so puts all the pressure on the woman. You do the loving. And so the woman is just loving and they woe out. Right, Mama Fiyah?
We are woe out, sisters. And I know it's the truth. And then we can become bitter and we can become cold.
Right.
And we can become callous and say black men ain't shit, or we can say,
right.
And then a lot of times we just want to be loved, and then we go to women.
Right.
We go to women to love us, because black men is walking around, if anything, half full. We're wanting this love, and we're wanting this support and this feeling as well, thinking love is a feeling,
right.
And really love is movement. Love is action.
It's action.
And so, excuse me.
And inspiration, like the inspiration, the love is inspired, which means it's internal and in spirit. So it's in the spirit of that what you already have.
Yes,
You know what I'm
definitely what
saying?
you already have, and so the truth of the matter is, and I'm not trying to talk bad about none of my sisters. You know, do what you have to do, Queen, to find self love. You know, we all have to go through our ups and downs.
Right.
Brothers, we have to do what we have to do
It's a journey.
to love ourselves. You know, it is a journey, and a lot of the time it takes you to hit bottom. It takes you to hit bottom. We talked about that, the breakdown for the breakthrough.
Right.
You know, we talked about that last week. It's like, you know, when no one loves you.
Right.
You know, when no one, there's no one on the planet who loves you.
That's
And you
right.
done hit all the way down and bottom. Everybody done messed over you and he left you and died and all these different things. And then you realize the purpose that you do have on the planet, and it's attached to how you feel and how you love who you are.
You loving yourself.
Yeah, loving yourself and who you are. And I hate that, you know, and I don't think everybody has to take that route. I don't think everybody has to go that way, especially that hard fall, especially if we talk about self-love as an option, especially for the black man. And the reason why it's not enough to just love the black man is because we have to encourage him to love himself.
Got to.
Because the only way that it's going to get real, you know, with each other. And Brother Shank, you know, we get real with one another. We don't hold anything back. And that honesty builds us and make us stronger.
It does.
The honesty that says, I'm honestly feeling this way, Brother Shaq, and this may come from something that I experienced.
Right.
You know, and you saying, wow, I can really see that, Ayana. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Right.
You know, I didn't experience that, but I can see that, you know, that you have. And it's, you know,
there's a challenge.
I think people think our relationship might be like me, you know, being all traumatized and hurt and stuff, and you being like, oh, you know, but you notice your own shit in it. You know, that's what's important. You know, you notice, and I don't even care. I don't care how we seem.
No.
I just know that we're doing a mighty thing.
Right.
Like, this is healthy.
Right.
What we're doing is healthy, and it's very loving and very open and very honest.
Right.
But it took us so long to get here.
Definitely.
And it doesn't have to take everybody long to get here.
That's right.
That's my point.
And it is a journey. You know, the relationships show you who you are, and it's because your love for yourself is so mighty. You know, and my love for myself is we talked about that last week when we were saying, well, who do you love the most? And I love me the most. That's who I love the most. I love me the most. I mean, if you're not really 100 with yourself, unconditionally, the person that you are, 24 hours, if you've been with yourself more than anybody, every moment, every good thing that ever happened to you, you were there. Every bad thing that ever happened to you, you were there. So you know you. You're the only person who's been with you like that, not your mama, your daddy. Nobody's been with you like you've been with you. So if you're not all the way good with you unconditionally, what in the world do you expect that you can do for anyone else? How could you love anyone else through their shit? You know what I'm saying? How can you really do that? You have no reference point for that. How could you even teach anybody how to love you when you haven't even done the work for yourself? And we're saying that the reason we don't do that is because we don't think we have the capacity to do. We think love is something somebody else is supposed to do. And the black woman has shown that she can love through all kind of bullshit. So that must be her department. We're going to let her do the loving. And we just going to be cool and we're going to take it. You know what I'm saying? And then when we get disgusted with her, we discard her. Or if she does something that we disapprove and we don't like, then we discard her. You know what I'm saying? And the reason is because we haven't developed that capacity, that potential in us to understand what loving yourself really, really looks like. I mean, I listen to black men on a daily basis, and we talk about that. You know, we talk about loving yourself and what that looks like. And, you know, at first for brothers, they're really uncomfortable even in the language.
Yes.
And they'll say, man, I ain't never thought about no shit like that. I got to go to work, man. I don't fuck with all that. Like, you know, like, and these are men with children, men with families and you know, working and really good men in their hearts, but think that going downstairs into the heart, that ain't no place to be. That ain't nowhere for a man to be. A man don't do that. And so what ends up happening is, brothers and family, is when we don't do that work, we end up wreaking havoc on the entire community because we are looking at what we can extract from it. Because we figure if we we got the good man syndrome, we looking at all the shit that I do, then I'm entitled and a motherfucker owe me. And so that's all we're doing is trying to present good so that we can extract from instead of build and create and contribute to, because we're not clear about ourselves. We don't see ourselves as lovable, and so therefore we're not looking at actionably loving anyone else. Mm-hmm. So that is in fact the solution, is for the black woman cannot love the black man enough. We've demonstrated that for 400 years. Nothing the black woman has done in terms of loving the black man has prevented the black man from hurting the black woman. She has not loved him to the point where he won't hurt her and won't hurt the children and won't hurt other people. So that's not the solution for the black man to love himself. The black man has to love himself. The black man actually has to do the work. Mm-hmm. And this work is transformational for the brothers who are watching and the brothers who are out there who have done the work. These are beautiful black men. You know what I'm saying? And sisters can see the heart in the black man. You talk about what they find attractive. Women who are healthy and healed, and even women who are sick can notice a good heart in a black man, but because of their sickness, they may want to mess over that black man with that good heart, and not realizing that a brother with a good heart, a black man with a good heart, or black people, period, who have embraced loving themselves, have done a tremendous work in a very deadly and toxic environment in America. So that deserves honor and respect when someone really and truly loves themselves. And you can tell whether they do or not. It ain't hard to tell.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Brother Shaq, I would like to ask you the things you do to show yourself you love yourself. Because I think last week we were talking about just what you can do in the morning as far as self-love. Right. Because a lot of brothers, just like a lot of sisters, don't understand it. They think that at first it sounds like conceitedness or vanity or even selfishness.
Right.
But it's really not at all. It's about showing yourself every part of yourself, right? The body, the mind, the heart, the spirit, every part of yourself, some love.
Right.
It's action is what you do. And so I would love for you to just break down some things, like even if you just broke down today and the things that you did to show yourself you loved yourself, and centered around today.
Well, I definitely honor my thoughts. I honor the kinds of thoughts that I have. I write them down. I know that they're important, they're valuable. I also honor the way that I'm feeling about something. And as I'm getting older, I'm speaking really from my heart. That's even written on our mirror, the mirror in the bathroom on my side of the sinks on mine. It says, "Speak from your heart," like every day. And that came through a bath I took. I took a bath, and that was the message that I got from the bath. My ancestors would speak from the heart.
And even taking a bath is an act of self-love.
Yeah, definitely. Taking a good, healthy spiritual bath, is wonderful for me. But when I'm there, I'm listening and I'm hearing my higher self. I'm hearing my ancestors. I'm hearing the truth. And the way I do it is, I have a little pad that I keep right there by the tub, and when I go down there and it comes to me, I'm writing and I'm just making notes. And most of the time it's dark. I don't even see. I'm just writing them. And when I'm out, I reflect on what I wrote, and I'm amazed. I got pages and pages and pages of things that I got in that bath, and I did that for me. That's one way that I'm loving and honoring myself. Another way is fasting. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And doing intermittent fasting. Been on a journey with that for the last, 7 or 8 years. And, even right now, I'm 30 days into a 40-day fast. I feel incredible. I have a little bit of lower energy right now because it's whatever time it is. But considering, my brain is very sharp, and I'm able to hear myself and honor what was happening with me. That's another thing that I do for myself. The fasting, of course, the writing, in the reading, and then not being governed so much by time. That's a big one, big way
That's
of
a
the
big
way
one for Brother
I
Shay.
love myself. Like, I move when I'm ready to move, and I set my day up and my life around what I feel like doing when I feel like doing it, as a way to honor myself. That to me is loving myself. And what the benefit is from this is, I'm in a very calm, loving space, and so I'm able to give that to folk I'm encountering. You know what I'm saying? They don't get angst from me. They don't get all this tension, and this brother is angry and he's pissed off, and I don't know if today is a good day or not, because they don't get that from me. They get a very consistent, even tempered, sincere brother. And the last thing that I can tell you that I did today and that I do on a regular is I really check my integrity on things. Like, I really question, do I want this because I want it, or do I want this because I'm supposed to want it? Is this really real for me, or is this what's influencing this thought I'm having, or what's influencing this behavior, this idea? I really interrogate that with myself, and that's loving myself, because that causes me to move in alignment.
Yeah, it causes you to level up.
It causes me
Every
to level
single
up
time you do that,
every
you
single
move
time.
up. You move up and change, like self-love, it changes you. It will change you. And I do the same, not particularly that, but actually asking myself, is this my highest self?
Right.
Like, can I do better? Is there a way for me to handle this? What is the best way for me to handle this where I can feel fulfilled and the person I'm helping can feel fulfilled?
Right.
Like, I think it's a constant reassurance, or a constant
assessment.
Yeah, a constant assessment of what you're thinking, but also like honoring that. Like you said, you honor your own thoughts.
Right.
Honor your thoughts, and then look and see, if something doesn't feel right, where does it come from?
Right.
Sitting down with yourself and figuring out where does it come from. So honoring your mind, your creativity. Oh, I had this thought, and actually giving it some time and giving it some shine. I had this thought, and then honoring your heart. What are you feeling? Honoring your body. That's
Definitely.
a big one, right?
Definitely.
I noticed that Brother Shaq stretches a lot.
Right.
He stretches and he breathes a lot. And I do the same. I do it a little differently, but he's really flexible. Brother Shaq's a very flexible man. And so he'll just be breathing and stretching and stuff like that. Those are...
You're not watching me do that.
Yeah, of course. You do it all the time. But those are acts of self-love.
Right.
Those are the ways that we can, show our body that we are loved. The brother takes long showers,
Right.
I mean, he really has a succinct self-care routine in the morning, and you cannot listen. I'll be out the door because this brother need his time and his space to get himself together. And I got my own morning ritual, and I got my own way of doing things. And listen, I like to be on time. I like, to get my baby to school on time, and and so we're different, and we have a different way of self-love looking.
Right.
But it gives us the joy.
Right.
It gives us the joy to continue. We always meet back at home, asking each other how each other's day was. Enjoy.
Right.
Enjoy. And then, our evening rituals and all these things, these are ways that we can love ourselves. Every single thing that we decide to see, hear, taste, touch,
right,
feel,
all the senses, all
of the senses,
all 5 senses
can be how we are, opportunities to love ourselves, right? And shine that light bright.
And the benefit for other folk is, if I'm doing that for me, I'm definitely gonna do that for you, because I see myself in you. I see you, just me over there. So that's the benefit of people who are loving themselves. That's a very responsible practice, and it makes you a much better contributor to your own people, because you can recognize yourself in them. Some of the most dangerous people that are among us are the people who don't love themselves, because they hate your ass, because you remind them of them. So they're gonna talk bad to you. They're gonna think lowly of you. They're gonna, they're gonna mess with you. They're gonna do all kind of shit that people who love themselves simply wouldn't do. That's how you can always tell how somebody really feels about themselves, is how they deal with you. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't no way in the world I'm gonna have this phenomenal self-care routine and these self-love rituals that I practice for myself every day, and then see you and tell you you ain't shit. There's no way I could do that.
Come on, brother.
There's just no way I can do that. I don't have that
That's
kind
right.
of energy. I
Nah.
recognize, man, you like me. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see some greatness in you that maybe you don't see, and so I'm inclined to help you pull that out so that you can see it and change your trajectory. But that's why I can do it, because I'm doing this for myself on an ongoing basis. So as Mama Fiyah said from the outset, modeling what the self-love looks like. And the self-love action begins with the here and here, that connection, that mind, body, spirit, heart, mind connection. That's where it's at, Mama Fiyah.
That's where it's at. So, get up on your self-love, my people.
Right.
This is not just how we look.
No,
this is not just how we present. Even though Brother Shaq puts a lot of time and effort into looking good, he always be looking presentable and professional. It's definitely such a small percentage.
Yeah, that's
it's such a. I'm just saying that sometimes we be confused.
Yeah, like if we look good, we figure.
Oh, we loving ourselves because we look good. We really don't understand what this thing is, and so we model it. We model it and we share it. What our thing looks like. We can't tell you what your thing looks like. We can't tell you what it's supposed to look like.
You can investigate yourself and know.
You have to. You have to figure it out.
I'm looking, Mama Fiyah, for this weekend coming up. You're part of that Aretha Franklin tribute.
Yes.
Can you tell us about it?
Well, I know that it's called Words Music. I think Words and Music Festival, but there's a Black Joy component of it.
Okay.
And yeah, we definitely need to share that in this thing. And so at Whiskey and Sticks.
Okay, that's on Bayou Road.
On Bayou Road at 8 p.m. I think it starts at 8 p.m. We're going to be honoring Aretha Franklin, but it's a whole conference.
Right.
It's a whole I think weekend of stuff. So we'll just put it.
We'll drop the flyer in there. But do you know offhand who's going to be a part of that besides yourself?
So I've seen some other poets. Christopher Williams, our brother One Eye, is going to be a part of it. Asali, I saw her picture there. Kelly Harris, she's a part of that. And so I think it's just going to be real nice over at Whiskey and Sticks, which is Black owned.
It's a Black owned spot.
Black owned. And so this is as part of the Words and Music Festival, a Black Joy component of it. Okay. And so I think we need to show up. I do. Because the Words and Music Festival is not a Black thing, but we have carved out a place of it. Kelly Harris and other people have carved out something specifically for us. So I think if we want to show that we want to have things like this for us, we should show up.
Right.
We should definitely show up. And so there's a lot of things happening this weekend coming up. What else is happening? I know Sunday we're having a celebration of Asaya Mystic, who is my dear godchild. Mm-hmm. It's her birthday. And so we're having a cipher for her at Tumbar Life Center on Sunday. And so this is our second cipher of 2018. We did one for the self-care summer. And we showed how freestyling can be definitely very liberating and self-care, something that we can do for self-care. And so this is our second one of the year. And I think if y'all love it, we'll try to do it on a regular basis. I think we could get together and make magic together. Definitely. When we get together and decide that we're not going to worry about what everybody thinks.
Right.
And we're just going to do us.
Yeah.
And have fun.
Right on, Mama
So,
Fiyah. Yeah, I'm looking.
yeah.
I found from 8 to 10 on Saturday, November 17th, the poetry tribute to Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, it says it's part of a words and music. Let me see. Oh, it's part of the Words and Music Festival.
Okay,
It
perfect.
says here, yeah, Words and Music, a literary feast in New Orleans is
Okay.
what they're calling it. And yeah, so we'll tell you more about it. Thank y'all for sticking in.
Yeah, man, I know there's a lot going on Tuesday evening, and I shared it on the True Love Movement page just now. There's a lot going on Tuesday evening at 9 o'clock. Y'all been hanging with us, in these 2-hour shows for the most part. You join us every Saturday at 5 p.m. on WBOK for the True Love Movement Hour for 5 years. This month is our 5th year.
Thank you. Thank you for supporting us.
Thank you for supporting us in all the public work. Thank you for everybody who comes to the office, who trusts us to do the work.
Yeah.
That's not on social media, which is what we really do. You know what I'm saying? And then thank you for watching the videos and sharing the videos. We really, really do want you to look at that, fixing what's wrong with New Orleans schools. We think we got the answer, and we're not afraid to say it. There's a whole workshop that we designed on it that we're offering. And so take a look at that, and let's talk about that if y'all want to talk. Because I don't do the debating thing and the protesting thing. And I salute all of our people who are trying to organize inside of the education system to reform it. That is a very, very big job and a long suffering journey. And it is our hope that, as our people move through that process, they will draw the conclusion that we can, in fact, fix what's wrong with New Orleans schools. And the video really tells you how. So take a look at that video. Share this show with people you respect. Don't be afraid to comment. We will answer the comments and correspond. Sometimes it may take us a little time, because part of loving ourselves is doing this and then balancing the rest of our lives. But please share the show with people you respect. Comment, subscribe to the True Love Movement YouTube page. Like True Love Movement on Facebook. Follow True Love Movement on Instagram, SoundCloud. Mama Fiyah got an album getting ready to drop. Late Bloomer, second studio album. Get ready for that. We got Keep It Hot Thoughts in a New Light, out a year this month. Runaway Girl, Resolving Rape Culture book is on the way. Wrapping that up by the end of the year. And Resolving Rape Culture workshop, we're going to do that again also, family. So stick with us. Check us out at www.truelovemovement.com or call a love line at 504-309-LOVE.
You know I'm tired.
I'm Brother Shaq.
And Mama Fiyah.
For the True Love Movement Hour. For True Love Movement Tuesdays. Wholeness, family.
Wholeness.
Right on.